Welcome back. Welcome back. I am Armory, your healing coach. It is time for tea with Armory. So I hope, ladies, that you have your hug in a cup. As you can see, I do. I have some little mood music going on tonight. So just enjoy as you're coming in. Just trying to set a vibe for us tonight. And it's tea time. So why not have some nice little music to go along with it? That's all right, right? Let's see here. Sorry, I had to pause the music for just a second. It should be coming back up. I wanted to make sure that I was live on Instagram as well. So if you come in, as I always say, the program that I use, I cannot see who is on. So in order for me to know you're here, you have to talk to me. You have to say something in the comments. I feel like I'm sweating, y'all, but you know what? These hot flashes are real. I'm not even going to pretend that they're not. There's a story behind that, which I won't go into, but nonetheless, if you see a little sweat bead popping off my forehead, just say, Sister, wipe your face. Help me out, help me out, help me out. So I posted earlier before I went to live, and I said that after our conversation tonight, you are going to know how you are showing up in the world. So as your healing coach, what I do is I position women to heal well, to be whole, and to live in freedom. And a part of that is how you're showing up in the world, helping you to make sure that how you're showing up aligns with your values, aligns most importantly with the woman that God created you to be. So, this is a live stream that I'm listening to right now, just some relaxing jazz music. So, again, I hope you guys are enjoying the vibe. I'm going to wait maybe just another minute and then we are going to get started. We're going to get started. So let me take a sip of tea here. Now, I hope you guys have your tea. It's so interesting when you're trying to do something on the camera, like you see a hair or something out of place, but the camera is the opposite way. So I'm always touching the wrong, there we go, the wrong side of my head. Interesting, right? When you're going live, just the little things that people don't tell you about. Let me make sure my volume is all the way up too, because I want to make sure you guys can hear me loud and clear. So it is tea time. It is tea time. Time for tea with Armory. And why did I start this live show weekly every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? The reason I started this is because I want to talk about all things healing, all things wholeness, and all things freedom. Because I believe that every woman should be able to walk in purpose healed. I believe that every woman should be able to walk freely and live a life of freedom, and that I believe that every woman should be whole. And so that is why I started. It is simply to encourage you, to give you some gems, to give you some nuggets, and to help you make sure that you are healing well, that you are becoming whole, and that you are living in freedom. So I am going to turn the music down just a little bit because I don't know if it's louder than me. So I'll turn it down just a little bit just so it can be. Yeah, thank you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you catch the replay, just let me know in the comments that you are watching the replay. Again, I'm Armory, your healing coach. And so we are about to talk about how you are showing up in the world. And I have some little, what do I want to call them? Just some, I can't even think of the word, y'all, that I'm looking for, but just something that I think will help to drive the message home. Now, I must confess before I even start this that I am missing a key element that I really wanted to use to drive this point home. And right before this live, I went to try to grab my favorite one of these, and it is not where I put it. Imagine that. Imagine that. So I'm going to have to improvise a little bit tonight with my key element, but I believe you will get the point just as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to Time for Tea with Our Marie. I have my favorite ginger tea here. So let's go, let's go, let's go. So tonight, what I want you to do, and again, I said at the beginning that I was trying to create this vibe even with the music. I love just soft jazz and piano music. But I want you to just imagine with me that you are at just this bomb tea party. And this is Time for Tea with Our Marie. So those who know me well know that I am a lover of tea. Okay, so think about you're in this space with me. You're just at this bomb tea party. And I want you to think about what makes this tea party so bomb. Like, what about it just comes up when you're talking with friends, or girl, you should have been there. I mean, what about this tea party that just stands out in your mind? That is what I want you to imagine with me. What about this tea party stands out to you? Okay, so just get that in your head for a second. I know, and if you're watching, you can definitely put that in the comments. But I also, and I meant to share this out, so I'm gonna have to pause my music really quick, and you guys may hear some feedback because I'm going to share this out to my personal page as well. So if you hear that, just ignore that for just a quick minute. Makes this tea party so bomb. Like, what a... Because for some reason, when I play it on my personal page, then it... And I see here, looking at my phone, that I have an error on my comments tonight. So if you're commenting, then I apologize. I'm going to try to look down at my phone to see if I can see you, because for some reason it is not showing up on the system I use. And y'all, I pay pretty good money for this system that I use, so I need it to work. I need it to work because I want it to be able to go live on Facebook, live on my Instagram page, and live on my YouTube page. And I just noticed that it is giving me some problems. So that is not going to work. So I definitely will have to address that. But I will try to look at my page on my phone frequently so that I can try to see the comments. The only issue with that is you will be able to hear, because it's a little bit behind where I currently am doing it from my laptop. All right, so give me one more second and we're going to get right in this because I don't like to waste too much time. So we're going to get right in. Okay. All right. So, how are you showing up in the world? So, I have a couple things with me, and I said I was going to improvise with one. So, I want you to see here. Can everybody see this? This is a styrofoam cup. So, I want you to see that. This is a styrofoam cup. Okay. And this is a ceramic tea mug. Okay. So, again, I said I want you to imagine with me. Have you thought about that yet? What is at a bomb tea party? Thank you guys for your comment. Thank you for Tika and Aaron and my dad that's watching. I appreciate you guys. And I'm so sorry that I can't see it. I don't know what is going on. But when I check up on my phone, um, I can see the comments. So I'm just going to start my music back. I promise you I will respond back to the comments. It's not going to make tonight that much more fun for me because I really look forward to interacting with you all. But nonetheless, the show will go on. Okay, so imagine that this, because this is my teacup that I love to drink out of. Imagine that this is a fancy China teacup, okay? Because my favorite one that I really wanted for what I'm about to discuss with you is not where I put it. Can you imagine? So, we're just going to go on and we're going to pretend like this one is just laced with pearls and this one is, fine china. I mean, this is the one that you keep in the china cabinet, okay? This is not the one that just comes out when everybody comes around. So we're just, can y'all imagine that with me? Imagine that with me, okay? So, how are you showing up in the world? So let's go back to our bomb tea party that we're all attending, right? That is going to bother me, y'all. That little piece of hair that I don't even know how to. Okay, I don't. There we go. Okay. Imagine we're at a bomb tea party. What makes this tea party bomb for you? I know for me, it may be the ambiance. Everybody who's anybody may be at this tea party. It may be an opportunity to see some girlfriends that I have not seen in quite a long time. So I'm able to catch up with some people that I don't really talk to day to day. So all of those things, just the ambiance, maybe what's even offered, the food, how it's packaged. Is it on a cute little 3-tiered tray and the cookies just decorated so nice with perfection, and maybe there's someone there offering hand massages, and maybe there's someone there and they are playing a saxophone or playing the flute or playing the violin. So can y'all feel the vibe with me? I hope you can. I hope you can. So we're at this bomb tea party, right? And so all of those things for me makes it memorable. And so when I go to a tea party, and we've all been there, don't even say you haven't, and I'm not judging people, but I am kind of one of those bougie tea people, okay? I want my tea to be, packaged well, and I want it to, especially if I'm at a nice tea party that I've dressed up for, and maybe I have my little hat, whatever the case may be, I want it to be right, okay? So we've all been at those tea parties where the tea is served out of those styrofoam cups, okay? We know that it holds the heat well. We know all of those things. And it doesn't necessarily take away from the tea party, but it's not going to make it that much memorable, right? It's not going to be something that you're talking about maybe after. You probably don't even remember what kind of tea you drank out of this cup, honestly, okay? This is the cup that after the tea party, everybody just gathering the tablecloths, because they probably got plastic tablecloths too, I'm just saying. Everybody's gathering them, and they are just going to throw all of these cups away after that tea party, right? And then we've been to some tea parties where this is how the tea is served. And this is just your everyday run of the mill ceramic teacup. Okay, it's cute. You can still do your little pinky action with it. It's cute. But it's not necessarily memorable. I mean, you're not going to throw it away. I mean, you're not going to throw all of these cups away, right? Because somebody spent some money on these and they are of some value. So you're not going to throw them away. But again, it just doesn't have that extra punch when you walk in and you're like, wow. It does not give you the wow factor. It does not give you the whoa. Now they done did that. Now they did that decorating. Wow, look at those table skirts. Look at those linen tablecloths. Look at that decor. Look at those centerpieces. Look at those beautiful china cups. Now, again, y'all imagine it with me. Now, this is gold. This is pretty, but this is not the beauty that I really wanted you all to see. But we're going to pretend anyway because nothing is going to stop Time for Tea with Armory Show. Not tonight. Not tonight. So, this is laced with pearls. This is made out of fine gold. And I'm talking about expensive gold, y'all. I'm not just talking about, because this may be, but I'm talking about, I can't even think of the name of the people, but we know who makes the fine gold. But if you say that name, you know that it's top notch, right? So we have those three things. What does this have to do with me? I know you're asking. I know you are asking, what does this have to do with me? What it has to do with you is you fall in one of those three cups. And you may dib and dabble in between all three, depending on what the area is that you are showing up to the world. So we are going to talk about that. How's my phone ringing doing the live? We are going to talk about that tonight because as I promised, you are going to know exactly how you are showing up in the world. And y'all, I can't see the comments. I'm so sorry I can't. But I will go back and read them. I will comment. And so don't let that stop you from interacting with me because I want to make sure that you're here with me. Okay? Because it's kind of lonely knowing that I'm talking to myself, although I know you're out there, but I can't get any interaction with you. So I apologize for that. And believe me, we're going to get this system together. So let me go back to what I was saying here. It's about the wow factor, what we value. That tea party that we imagined that we were at, right? We remember that tea party because it gave us that wow factor, honey. It gave us that, ooh, everything just detailed with perfection. Like you knew that somebody put some time and some work and some effort and some love into it. Right? You knew that walking in that this is not just something that, the tea party started at high noon and 11:30 they got together and pulled out the plastic tablecloths and put the styrofoam tables and folded up some paper napkins. You already know. You know what type of tea party this is. Okay, so have that in your mind as we're talking about how you are showing up to the world. And y'all, I tried to put on I don't know if y'all can see it, a little dainty little top because you know what, again, little pearls in the ear because I'm trying to take y'all to this tea party. I am trying to get you there. And so, again, this is could be thrown away, could be seen as trashy, not very memorable, okay? Not really the the topic of a conversation. None of those things is a result of the styrofoam cup. Okay, this is just what we drank out of. Okay, but it holds no special memories. And even with our ceramic, this is your everyday, mundane, run of the mill type of cup. Are you kind of getting where I'm going? I'm going to break it down in just a little bit, but I want you to understand what these three represent. But believe me, I am going to break it down because as I promised, you're going to know exactly how you show up in the world. Ladies, you are going to know that. And I want you to know that because a part of what I do is I help women to show up. I'm so excited, y'all. I can't even get the word out. I help women to show up authentically, which means you show up as you, not trying to be somebody else, not trying to fit in, not who mama wants you to be, not who your husband wants you to be. You're showing up as you, as the woman that God created you to be. And once you tap into her, you are showing up authentically. And the second part of that is I help women to show up unapologetically. When you get to that point, y'all, let me tell you, it is something about hitting that 40 mark. Any women out there in their 40s, it is something about hitting that 40 mark. Some of y'all may be able to do it at 30, somebody at 20, but once you hit 40, I don't care what they think. I am not seeking approval from people. As long as I'm all right with God and He approves, that's what's important to me. Now, granted, my close relationships, I'm not saying I'm going to go out of the way and embarrass my husband or, be totally out of character. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I'm not apologizing for being me. I am not apologizing and shrinking who I am just to appease you. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. So, and then this, I've already kind of given y'all a little bit of this, but this, y'all, this is the one that you might have got a little pop on the hand if you try to open up that China cabinet. Because this is not the one that you play around with. This is the one that only comes out when it's a special thing going on. Maybe it's Thanksgiving, maybe it's Christmas, maybe it's a nice little dinner party. This one only comes out then. Okay, it has value. When you think about commercials, and I've heard this, I read this um, just a couple days ago, and someone had put in their stories about um, different cars that you see commercials for. And you see commercials for, Lexus, you see commercials for BMW, you see commercials for Mercedes. You don't see commercials really for a Bentley. You don't see commercials for those really high end. Why? Because those people who want that, they don't need a commercial. They don't need advertisements. Come on, I need y'all to pick this up. They don't need advertisements. They know that that's what I want and that's what I'm going to get. And I'm going to put in the work. I need y'all to catch this. I'm going to put in the work that is necessary because you need some of this to get that, right? Because you don't just roll up and get that. So I'm going to put in the work to get it. I need y'all to catch that. All right. So, how are you showing up to the world? And I just wrote down some areas that came to mind that when I'm working with women, or even if they're not my client, just in conversation with women, and we're talking about how we are showing up, or just talking about these areas in our lives. And so and these are not necessarily in any particular order. So it's no high to low or low to high. I just, as they came to my mind, I'm sharing them with you. Okay. So the very first one that I want to address is how we dress. Do you know that a large part of how you show up to the world is how the first impression that you're giving off? Your first impressions, a lot of times, women, before you even open your mouth, before you say anything, before you do anything, somebody has already sized you up simply by what you have on, how you dress. And don't let it be somebody that they can see you on a routine basis. Maybe somebody you work with, maybe someone you're dating, maybe a friend that you go and hook up with every so often. And they start to notice a pattern in how you dress. What does that have to do with these teacups that I just talked about? I will tell you. What that has to do with these teacups, and again, I hope my music's not too loud. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. What that has to do with the teacups is this. Sometimes we're trying to advertise to get something that is only going to treat us like this based on our own advertisement. We're trying to let it all hang out. We got the cleavage going. We got the thighs. Y'all, some of these distressed jeans ain't even distressed. You might as well just have on shorts. I mean, you might as well just have on some Dukes because you just letting it all hang out. How are you showing up though? Because sometimes I really honestly think that people don't know the vibe that they're giving. They don't know the vibe that they're giving to other people, and that people are reading that just simply how they're showing up in their attire. Are you showing up like this? Or maybe you're showing up like this, where you're just an everyday girl. You don't do anything to try to fix yourself up. You really don't think it's even that serious. You're okay every day of your life with t-shirt and sweats, and you never want to dress up. You never really want to shop and try to find things that accentuate your shape and really enhance your shape or enhance your look. So maybe you're here. Maybe you're just that everyday mundane girl. And maybe a part of that could be there's a part of you that really wants to blend in. There's a part of you that really wants to fall back a little bit. You don't really want to be noticed. And so you feel like if I do just a little bit, somebody may notice me. And I don't really want to be noticed. So if I just keep wearing these t-shirts and I just keep wearing these sweatpants and I just have a plain hairstyle and I really don't even try to make up my face, I don't even have my eyebrows together. Maybe this is where you are. Maybe this is where you are. Or maybe you do see some value in how you look and you want other people to recognize that value. You you know, sometimes some people won't even step to you wrong just based on how you look. Your attire, what you're putting out there, just based on these things determines how people will treat you, how they value you. It's important. And you may say, well, it don't even take, it ain't that serious. I don't even like shopping. I don't have that kind of time. I got kids. I got a husband. I got to work. I got all of these things going on. I don't have time. Honey, it matters. It matters how you look. Now, does that mean that every time you go out? Well, can I just be honest, y'all? I was raised. I've never gone out with a bonnet on. Never. Ever. I've never gone out even with a hair scarf on my head. I've never gone out without a bra on to go to the store. Now am I saying to go to the mailbox? Maybe. But I'm talking about to go to the store, to go out of my house where I have to get out of my vehicle and go inside somewhere. Never. And sometimes I may not feel like putting on clothes. I may not feel like doing anything about hair. I may not feel like putting on any makeup. And sometimes I don't. But what I am is presentable. You would never catch me with a bonnet on. You would never catch me because that does not represent who I am. Does that mean I'm better than anyone? No, but I am saying, sis, we can do better. We can do better. And it says a lot about how you think about you, how you show up. We can do better. All right. Knowledge. Woo. There was a time, y'all, that I was here with what I knew how to do. I can recall, and I'm just going to tell you guys this story. When I was in elementary school, I went to a private elementary school, and I'll never forget this. And you know how when teachers, you're reading and teachers ask for volunteers to read out loud, and I never would volunteer to read out loud. But you know how you just have that feeling and you try to slide in your seat, but that never works because you are the person that your teacher is going to call on, right? And I can remember vividly when I was called on to read in class, trying to purposefully slow down. Every now and again, I purposefully mispronounced a word. Why did I do that? Because at that time, I did not want to be seen as this smart girl. Because I don't know where we get, but we don't always celebrate each other's wins, right? So even then, as a child, it was common to be picked on when, oh, you think you better than us, or you think you smart, or oh, you ain't all of that was said way back then. And sadly, we carry that into adulthood. We carry those same things into adulthood. And we shrink, we downsize who we are, because maybe somebody is going to think we're all that. Maybe somebody is going to think you're too smart. I also went to a predominantly white high school, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard, "You're smart for a black girl. You're pretty for a black girl." I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that. And it always made me feel some type of way. And it caused me to want to shrink who I am to fit in with who they thought blackness, who they thought or how they thought blackness should look. It made me want to shrink back and fit in. Or maybe I'm okay with who I am and I'm confident. And I know that I didn't get this knowledge by myself. I know that it is a gift from God. I know that He has blessed me, that He has put some things in me. He has put some things in me that it's okay if other people see me as smart. It's okay if other people see me as dope. It is okay because I'm shining bright for Him. I don't need to dumb down who I am and just, I don't need to do that. I'm not going to dumb down. I'm not going to downsize. I'm not going to shrink. And sister, I encourage you not to do the same thing. Think about how you are showing up in this area of your life when it comes to your knowledge. Are you afraid to let people know what you know? Or are you prideful and don't want people to know what you know? Don't want to share your knowledge with other people? And there's a fine line with that. There's a balance. So I'm not saying, because for those business owners out there, including myself, I'm not saying that we're giving everything away for free. But what I am saying is, sister to sister, sometimes I can pour into my sister and share what I know. So how are you showing up in the world when it comes to knowledge? Are you just taking the information? You kind of get some new information. Remember, I talked about before, it's not enough just to know it, you got to implement it. So maybe you have this information and you're trashing it. You're doing nothing with it. You're adding no value to it. You're not helping anyone. You're not helping yourself. I'm talking to some of those sisters out there that has potential, that has talent, and sit on it and doing nothing with it. How are you showing up? And it does not matter, life happens, but we can't always use that as an excuse. I can recall a very close friend of mine. We were in high school, and by the time we finished high school, she had 2 children. That sister went back to school. She has her degree. She is in administration with the school system in Hillsborough County. You can't tell me. I always knew she was smart. Sometimes you just feel that from people. You talk to them and you're like, this is a smart sister. Like she got this thing. Like I remember she would help me at math because math was never my thing. I can read and write and all day long, but math was never it for me. So let's also rid ourselves of the excuses as to how we're showing up in the world. Gifts and talents. I've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but know that they don't come from you. You weren't born and just like, oh, I was able to do this and it's because of me. No, your gifts and talents are God given, first and foremost. Your gifts and talents are God given. And so we can't afford to just throw away what He gives us. We can't afford to do that. We cannot afford, because when you don't use it, you're going to lose it, which in essence means you're throwing it away. You are throwing it away when you are not using what He gives you to use. You're throwing it away. Or maybe you're not using it to its full potential. Maybe you're not using it to the extent that you know is possible. Maybe you are more concerned, again, with what other people will think. Or maybe your gift and talent is so extraordinary that you haven't even really seen it done. You haven't seen it done like you, how you would do it, when you put your little spin on it, right? So maybe you think that's too outlandish, that's too far. People are not going to understand, no one's going to support me. I've thought all of these thoughts. But there comes a time when I have to decide to show up. And I bring everything that God gave me with me. And I pour it out, because as He's poured it into me, I pour it out into other people. And that's a part of how I show up. That is a part of how I show up in the world when it comes to the things that God has gifted me to do. Maybe you know how to sing. Maybe you know how to bake. Maybe you know how to write. Maybe you know how to use your voice and as a voiceover, or to record and to do video, and whatever it is, make a decision to show up and to shine. This shines. Again, you know why it's in that china cabinet? Because it shines. It has value. It's not too many things out there like it. Okay, so we protect it, we guard it. And we do with it what God has called us to do. All right. The next thing is this: our relationships. Woo! Let's go here, y'all. Let's go here. Let's go here. Now, I don't even have to say much about this, but some of us wondering why we ain't got that ring. Hmm. Some of us are wondering why He hasn't put a ring on it yet. Some of us are wondering, but it is what we are, how we're showing up, what we are presenting ourselves to be. Are we a challenge at all? Do we take any effort to get to? Are we looked upon as easy? God forbid if we're looked upon as trashy. I say with my girlfriend sometimes, we keep it classy, not nasty. And you know those days when you look in the mirror and you like, oh, today's a good day. I'm okay. All right, girl, you doing that today. We all have those days, but I ain't got to let it all hang out to have it. I don't have to let everything hang out to look nice. Okay, now am I saying that you got to have your your skirts all the way down to your ankles and no makeup and no earrings and no skinny jeans? That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is, you know what tasteful looks like. You know when you step out of that. You know exactly what that looks like. So don't even fool yourself and say, well, no, I thought this was. We all do that double look in the mirror. Turn that mirror around and we look at it from all sides. You know what tasteful looks like. Let's not step out of that. Okay? Sorry, I got off on a tangent. We're talking about relationships. Again, what effort do you make them bring before they are able to be in a relationship with you? Maybe you're here. You hear some women say they're everybody's friends and nobody wants to date them. All the guys want to be their friends. Perhaps that's how you're presenting yourself, as someone that does not want more than that. There is a reason why so many men will put you in the same box. There's a reason for that. And so, if you're showing up as just this mundane girl, there's nothing really extraordinary about you, in their eyes at least. There is nothing, you kind of follow the same routine day in and day out. There's nothing spontaneous about you, nothing fun, nothing free. And there's nothing wrong with being, wanting to stick to a schedule and be in routine, but sometimes you just got to be to let your hair down and have a good time. You got to be the person that he wants to bleed to, that he wants to talk to, that he wants to come home to. And if you are that woman, then you're here where he wants to put you on his shoulder. He is proud to say your name. He is proud to introduce you. He is proud to say, this me right here. This is my girl. This is my wife. And you know what other women will say? I love how he looks at you. He has your full attention. When you walk in, it's like nobody else is in the room. Showing up in relationships. Shining bright in your relationship. Not just doing enough. Not just giving 50-50, but giving 100. Today, and I think my mom is watching. I hate that I can't see the comments, y'all. Again, I'm so sorry about that. I will definitely go back. But today, I'm going to tell y'all a funny story. My mom will appreciate this. Or she maybe not. Today, my mom was over here earlier, and she was keeping our daughter this week, and she just went back to Tampa a few hours ago. And when I came in, I was a little tired, and I said, she said, sit down for a second. I want to talk to you. So I said, well, give me 1 second. I have to use the restroom. So when I went in the restroom, y'all, I lied to you not. I said, God, please don't let this be like a difficult conversation because I'm tired. And, sometimes when your mama say they want to talk to you, you don't know if it's like, this is something I need you to improve on. This is something, and I'm like, but then when I came out and she said, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you all and how you and your husband partnered together in raising your daughter. And I just love how the two of you work together. And it just makes my heart so happy how you and your sister are so close and just our family. And it was just like, I just took a deep breath, but it was so refreshing. But my point in sharing that is this: people will notice. People will notice. Moving on, because I've been on here for a little while. Even our relationship with God, and I'm not going to say too much about this, but just think about how you're showing up. Do you feel empty in that area? Feel like you're not retaining anything? Can't be consistent? He's not your first priority? That's here. Or are you here where you're trying to be consistent, but you're really just checking off a list? You're praying, check. Read my word, check. Maybe even minister to somebody else, check. But I'm doing it not out of a sincere love relationship with him. I'm doing it because I need to check this box and make me think I'm good. But baby, when you roll over into this, it can be such a vibrant love relationship. It can be such an intimacy that I get excited spending time with God. Even when I'm tired, I get excited. I'm doing this study and it has been exciting me to learn more and to learn more about areas that I can improve. But guess what I'm doing? I'm showing up. I'm allowing God to speak. I'm allowing God to reveal things to me. And I'm doing it out of a sincere place and not a place of, let me just get this over with so I can say I did it. We do know there's a difference, right? We know that kid, those of you who have taught or any of those things, you know that kid that you can see, like, why are you just doing enough to get that C? You just want your parents to not have anything to say, but you have the potential to get the A. You're just not doing it. All right. Authenticity. I talked about that a little bit because, again, as your healing coach, this is the place where I want to see you shine in authenticity. Let's stop shrinking. Let's stop shrinking. Let's stop hiding. Because when you do that, that makes you feel empty. It makes you feel like you have no purpose. It makes you feel like you're just trying to fit in and you can't really find who you are. Let's not do that. Let's think about, are we authentically showing up? Are we being authentic? Maybe we're showing up and we feel like, we're showing up. And maybe other people are even telling us that, wow, okay, I see you. But deep down inside, we know there's more. We know there's a depth in us that we have not yet tapped into. We know that there's more. And so think about, how are you showing up? Because again, I told you, you're going to know exactly how you got this little piece of hair. Okay. You are going to know exactly how you are showing up to the world. If you think about these areas and you really evaluate, you sit with it and you evaluate yourself, and you'll know how you're showing up in the world. And maybe you're here, and y'all, I'm going to take a little quick sip. Maybe you're here and you feel like, I am showing up, I'm living in my purpose on purpose, honey. I feel like I'm walking in my calling, what God has called me to do. I feel like I am being me unapologetically. I feel like I'm free. But there can be another side to this. You could be that woman that looks like this on the outside, all pretty, all put together. Everybody thinks you got it together. But on the inside, you feel like this. You feel empty. You're carrying a lot and the weight is heavy. You go home and you get out of those pearls and you get out of that, those fancy clothes and out of your fancy car and walk into your fancy house and you just breathe. And you're reminded of how you really feel on the inside. You're reminded of the emptiness you feel. It doesn't have to be that way. And can I be honest and say, those are the women that I just talked about that I absolutely love to work with. Because you got it together. Not too many people would disagree with that. But you. You know that there are some areas of struggle, that there are some areas that I'm not authentic, that I'm hiding behind a mask, that I'm putting on a show, a facade in front of other people. I'm insecure, I'm prideful, I'm dishonest with myself. Excuse me. So I want you to sit with that. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is the strong woman syndrome. We've all heard it. As a black woman, most black women, we identify ourselves as strong. But sometimes that strong gets old. You know, I've been that strong friend and I've gone through some stuff. And I think that because I carry it well, people think it's not heavy. People think it's not heavy because and I've gone through some stuff and friends have known that I've gone through them. And you know what? Some of the responses has been, oh, I kind of forgot you even going through that. You don't even look like it. Now, although I saw that as a compliment, it also taught me something. Because I don't look like it, then other people may not be as apt to really think I'm in need of anything, that I need encouragement, that I need prayer, because I don't look like I may need prayer. Does that sound familiar to anybody? So I want you to know that being that strong woman is not, it's so not necessary all the time. There are some areas that we need to display strength, but there are some times where we have to bleed on other people. We have to display our truth. We have to share our truth with other people. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with God and say, I'm messed up. I'm hurting. I'm in pain. I'm feeling some type of way. And when you can get to this place, honey, you're reserved for something special. You're extraordinary. You are dope. And you know what? You don't even say that in an arrogant way, because when you really recognize what God has done through you and in you and how he's cleansed you and the things he still wants to do in you, you kind of, because you're not praising you, you're praising him. You're like, oh God, you did that. Like you opened that door. You gave me that gift. You gave me that knowledge. You allowed me to meet that man. You put that sister in my circle. You did that. You did that, God. And so I hope that tonight was helpful, because y'all, I've been on an hour on Time for Tea with Marie. I hope you had your tea. I'm so sorry again, I couldn't see your comments. But again, I will go back and look at the comments. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and hashtag replay and let me know. Also, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it is Healing Coach Marie. I would love for you to subscribe. You can also follow my Facebook page, Healing Coach Marie, or my Instagram page, Healing Coach Marie. So again, I hope this was helpful. I hope that you begin to recognize how you are showing up to the world. Are you this styrofoam cup? Are you the ceramic cup that is just your everyday run of the mill type of woman? Or are you this china cup that, and for those of you just watching, you have to catch the story about this. So I know this is not a china cup, but for the sake of what I'm discussing, it is. Are you this china cup that shines bright, that people notice, that you command attention when you walk in a room? People see you, and they don't see you again like, Ooh, they see you like, I see her living in purpose. I see her free. She doesn't seem concerned. She's just so real. You can get here. You can get here. And so I hope this was helpful. If you would like to book a discovery call with me, you can find that link on my Facebook page, my Instagram page. I would love to chat with you. If you just need prayer, I would love to even pray with you. Whatever it is, I am here to serve. And so, again, I hope that tonight was helpful. And until next week, on Time for Tea with R. Marie. Again, I'm so sorry, y'all, but I'm going to talk to you. I promise I am. I'm going to comment. So enjoy the rest of your evening and sit with this information so you'll know exactly how you're showing up in the world. I am R. Marie, your healing coach, and I position women to heal well, to be whole, and to live in freedom. Have a good one.